All right, let's get going on today's fun. Yeah, welcome everybody. It's been a minute since we've gotten together. I will paste in a sort of agenda. Sadly, it does not stay numbered, but I think you can bear with. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've talked to you all, so happy for you all to be here. Glad you made the time for us. I'm, I think we should do quick hellos. I think we might have some new folks and folks who know us, but let's go around and just say hello, Lindens and friends, and then we'll get into our agenda. So I'll go first since I got the mic already. I'm Bridie Linden, your friendly neighborhood PM, doing all the things on mobile. Often hanging out in world in the user group, or sorry, in the in world group as well as Discord. I keep an eye on the canny issues and keep things running as smoothly as I can on our mobile team. Um, yeah, happy to be here. Grumpy, you want to say hi? Kind of did. Who are you? Oh no, I fear Bluetooth maybe went south again. Beanie, why don't you say hello?
Hello, I'm Bridie Linden. I'm quality assurance mobile engineer, Second Life. I try to find issues before everyone else does on mobile.
Yes, Beanie is awesome. Adam, you want to say hi?
Hey everyone, I'm the mobile development lead.
Yep, short and sweet.
Yep.
Uh, Stray, you want to say hi?
Hey guys, I'm Stray. I do infrastructure, databases, observability, that kind of stuff.
I don't know if we got Grumpy back, but if she is back, I'm sure she'll jump in. She's our SVP of Product and Engineering and helps guide all of all of our work here. You may notice there are some Lindens missing in part because it is summertime and people have holidays, and also because there's some folks doing a workshop in real life. So you have a smaller group of Lindens and friends today. Okay, yeah, thanks for the intros. As usual, we're obviously talking in voice, and I'll do my best to try and keep up with the nearby chat. Apologies if I get behind, and I'll lean on my coworkers and colleagues to help me not miss anything. Uh, and if you're welcome to talk and ask questions as we go, and if you're not talking, please mute your mic. I think that's all the boilerplate stuff. Cool. Oh, Grumpy is back. Want to say hello? Do you have audio? Check, check, check. All right, I'm just going to keep us moving. Grumpy, you can say hello again when the time comes. Um, so we want to talk about what we've been up to. As I said, it's been a minute since we've talked to you. I know we've been a little quiet on in Discord and whatnot, and it's not because we have not been busy. That is for sure. And before we get into some of the details of what we've been up to, I wanted to talk a little bit about some software terminology real quick. I imagine that this group is familiar with some software development terms like tech debt or maintenance or even housekeeping. And, those are usually associated with the, behind the scenes type of engineering work, not so shiny, things you have to do. And uh, those are fine words, but I'd invite you to think about a different phrase that I've kind of adopted and I like, and that is sword sharpening. And I like that because that implies, we've got something that's cool and strong and we can make it better. So, when we think about things like upgrades or improving our development infrastructure, yeah, maybe you could call it housekeeping, but it is really about things that are gonna make our app better and maybe even our development team and processes better. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind as we talk about some of the sword sharpening that we have been up to. And with that, I will pass the mic to Adam to talk about some of the specifics.
Yeah, so I think that I could probably say this safely without getting into too much trouble. That we actually had a release that we were planning on going out last week, and that did not happen. And the reason it didn't happen was because we had got it past testing on all of our test servers and it was looking good. And then we took it to the alpha infrastructure and started deploying that. And then we discovered I don't know what we call it, a pit of despair. And we discovered that some of our low-level networking between the mobile app and some of the intermediary servers we use for delivering the mobile experience to you, it stopped delivering messages reliably. Most of them were getting through, but there was enough of them not getting through that was causing serious problems when we actually took this onto the alpha infrastructure. Now, that's the kind of thing where you have to sort of stop everything and go down and dig into it. And one of the things that we have been putting off for a little while has been upgrading one of the core networking libraries that we use. And that seemed to be the resolution to this particular fault. It was a bug in that version. And either we could try and patch the networking library ourselves or we could upgrade. Now, after a bit of futzing around with trying to patch it, I made the call to go ahead and do the upgrade. So we did the upgrade, and then we discovered that the upgrade wouldn't work with Unity, the version of Unity that we were using. So that resulted in us having to upgrade Unity. And in technology terms, this can sometimes be called yak shaving. It's where you sort of end up with a whole bunch of different tasks than the one you actually set out to do in order to get that thing done. So what we've been doing for the last week and a bit has been upgrading our Unity version, a little bit premature. We did need to do it, but we were hoping to do it sort of after this release and not during this release. So a lot of what we're doing at the moment is getting that upgrade in and smooth. The good news is that the Unity upgrade part seems to be pretty good. We're not seeing too many issues there. The networking stuff has got a few subtleties. When we do network upgrades, there's a whole host of situations that we need to test. It's not just simply a matter of us sort of firing up the viewer, connecting, and making sure it works. We have to manage all kinds of situations, particularly on mobile, like what happens if you move from your cellular to your Wi-Fi connection or vice versa. Does the connection transition from one to the other safely? Do you actually stay connected? What happens if your Wi-Fi is bad and you briefly blip off? We have a whole host of these kind of scenarios that we need to go through and test. So currently we're in the muck of making sure that all of those tests pass. The basic connections are there and working, but we're still having a few issues with the connection resumption that we need to resolve. One of the things with mobile that we're very keen to support is the idea that you can close the app and reopen it at any time and it instantly resumes back where you were without sort of losing your connection. Because a lot of mobile apps do get silently killed in the background. There's often when you tab away to something, the app might still be there in your task list, but actually it's been shut down silently. So we have a lot of cases where we need to worry about what happens if the user gets disconnected and how we handle that when you come back in. But the good news is there's a few things that are coming down this pipeline as well that mean that we can move a little bit faster. The new networking stuff is great. There's actually been a lot of workflow improvements to it. It's cut the amount of work we're going to need to do to maintain it in the future considerably. So I'm really happy with that upgrade. But the other big upgrade has been the Unity upgrade. Now, the Unity upgrade gives us a few things. The first is that there is a new version of the renderer that we're using. It's got some performance improvements, particularly on lower to mid-range devices, but also on the high-end devices as well. That will mean that we can boost the frame rate, which most of the time on most devices we are actually already hitting the frame rate cap, but what that translates to you is lower battery usage and phones heating up a little bit less once those things are put through. There will be other improvements and things that we can make as we begin to take advantage of the new version. But for the moment, a lot of what we're doing is just simply making sure that we've restored compatibility and that we're passing tests and things like that before we then explore what the other improvements that we can take advantage of, because we're jumping over a couple of versions to get up to the latest one. And that will ensure that we're also maintaining compatibility with new mobile phones and things as they release and new operating system versions and so on and so forth. So that's a lot of what we've been up to for the last sort of 2 weeks. We do have a release that is waiting to go out, and as soon as these upgrades are in and we're happy with them, then we'll be looking at getting that out the door as well. So I might stop there for a moment, unless there's anyone who's got any particular questions or comments.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam. I think that was a good description of what we've been up to. Yeah, our sword is definitely getting sharper, but I'll pause for questions too. If anyone wants to use voice, go for it, or in text. Just wait a sec. Thanks, Kira. And maybe I'll just check in with Grumpity one more time. Did you get voice going? Cool. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, yeah, as Grumpity is mentioning, we knew we would have to do this sword sharpening. We just thought we'd be able to do it in a slightly different order. So with that, I will turn to some other things that we've been working on. And yeah, maybe I jinxed myself because at our last company all hands, I said real soon this will be in everybody's hands, these features that are coming. And alas, not quite there yet. But I shouldn't say it, but I will say it coming soon. So I want to talk about one thing in particular, and that is our camera. We've got a handful of camera improvements coming that I think you all will really dig once you get them in your hand. So you'll have to trust me and maybe use your imagination a little bit as you play with the current app that is available, and look forward to the features I'm going to talk about. So first thing, this has been asked for a while. I know I've wanted it, and that is a reset camera button. So it is possible to detach the camera from your avatar currently, right? If you do a two-finger swipe, which is kind of fun, but also can land you in, off period. And you can, we do kind of reset it if you tap on the V stick and start moving. I hope you guys can't hear my dog barking. Sorry if you can. That does reset the camera mostly, but now when you do the two finger swipe to detach the camera, you will see a reset button appear on your screen, and you can tap that to more easily, more quickly reset it. So, yeah, sorry, that's my dog. Her name is Buttercup. It's either somebody coming home who lives here or my neighbor. Apologies for that. Okay, so reset camera button. Cool. Another item that those of you who've used the desktop for a long time is first person view. So it should feel like you're looking through your avatar's eyes, right? And you can move like you're in that first person view. And so that is also coming with these camera improvements. And when you're in that mode, you can't zoom in any further or translate the camera away, but it behaves as you would expect for a first person view. Yeah, I think you're going to like that. And then two more things. When the camera is undocked from your avatar and you want to rotate the camera or orbit it, it will now rotate around that new point. So for example, if I do a two finger swipe and I move the camera to the left, let's say 1 meter, and then I use one finger, right, to revolve the camera, it's going to revolve around that new pivot point, which is 1 meter away. And similarly, if you zoom in and out while the camera is undocked, it will zoom in and out from that pivot point. So it turns out to get these things right, it was a little tricky, but we have worked hard, and shout out to Pluto, who's not here today, and to Adam, who went rounds back and forth, and of course Beanie for testing it thoroughly. I think you're going to enjoy this when it gets in your hands. Indeed. Okay, I think my dog has stopped barking now.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, so yay, camera improvements coming soon, and I have a quieter house for the time being. Grumpity, can I lean on you to talk about a couple other topics?
Let's find out how long this lasts. My apologies. I don't think I ever have as many voice issues as I do on the day of the mobile user group. Thank you. I hate technology. Not a fan of technology. Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to get some feedback from you all as we had started playing around with sending some app notifications with tips and tricks or links to some events going on. And we were kind of wondering whether you liked this, whether you found it useful,
whether there's any feedback or ideas for things that you would find more useful through these app notifications, right? We have the ability to um, send some messages and say, there's obviously, if it's like SLB, we can say, hey, SLB is going on, go check out the events. But there's also kind of smaller things that we can reference, including both things about the app as well as things happening in world that you can do through the app. Thoughts and comments? And I understand that a dash for cash would be totally the best notification ever, but you can't do that all the time. Go ahead, Reggie. UET, I'm sorry.
Hello, so this is Kira talking. Does the event category on the mobile app have a category list for what type of event they can choose from, just like you do on the main website?
Oh no, poor Grumpy. Um, Kira, can you say more? Do you mean with notifications, like you could choose which type of things to be notified about, or do you mean something else?
Well, that is also a good idea, but what I mean is, sorry for the noise. So, what if I'm looking for sports events?
Hmm.
See all these events that's currently happening now or soon. So, can there be like a category list that I say, hey, I want to see sports events. Is there any sports going on? And it would filter the event category to show sports, or I'm interested in fashion, or maybe a, some games, things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Grumpy's asking, do you mean categories of events that you can get notifications about, or just events that you could go find? And do you mean on mobile specifically, or?
Yes, on mobile.
Gotcha. I don't think we don't, I don't think have a mobile specific event category. Grumpy, do we have other event categories?
We have event categories, and I like the idea that you could specifically opt into notifications about events that you care about, right? That's what you had in mind, Kira?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. That's a great idea. Yeah. We could see if we can build that in
Hmm.
for future notifications. Nice.
Yeah, interesting. Just if you want another link to bookmark, I just put in the Second Life events calendar. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm curious, yeah, if other people have other feedback on the notifications in general. I'm, as you can imagine, using other similar apps. I won't name names, but some of them are very generous with their notifications. Like they ping me a lot. And then other apps in general sometimes give you messages that aren't even like they're just like have a great day type thing. I don't know. Any thoughts or feedback on comparison to other apps? Yeah, I like that, Ruby.
I think in general, we're trying to be very conservative with notifications because we don't like spamming people any more than people like being spammed. But sometimes we think we're being overly cautious. Thanks, Nix.
Yeah, thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Nix.
Cool.
All right.
All
Well, if
right.
you have other thoughts later in the hour or anytime, put them in here or Discord. That would be fine. Um, there are a couple of items, speaking of Discord, that came in. I don't know if I got all of them, but um, Nix had a question about MFA, and then Ruby had a question. Do you want to field those, Grumpy?
Or you get to talk about camera angles. Me to talk about the things that we haven't done yet. I see
I don't
how
know
this
how that
is.
I don't know how that happened.
So I think Bridie is referring to this one first, which is a great idea, and we'd love to do it. This is not due to a variety of reasons. This is not on the immediate roadmap, but we all want it because we all use MFA with our accounts, and we would like that to be an easier process for sure. Like every Linden account is behind MFA. So we always feel the pain when that process is not great. We are not Google, so I have like an Android phone, and it's very handy for all of the Google uh, account logins that I do anywhere. But we're not using your Google login for Second Life. So a bit more complex to build out. But yes, we would love to do it. And then the next feedback. I lost it. What was it, Brady? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
right. Was a question from Ruby. I'll paste it here. It was basically we said that we would have continuity of messages in the incoming communications and notifications so that when you log in on mobile and then you log in on desktop, you still have access to all of the same messages. It is indeed a big project, and it requires a fair amount of back-end work because today, of course, that's not how SL is designed. The good news is, paired with that work is also something that would allow you to see messages and not get kicked out from your desktop session when you log in on mobile. But they're not quite the same work, but they're connected. So, unfortunately, it's not quite there yet. We were waiting for some resources to free up. And in fact, I think Monday we'll be kicking off a sprint where we will pick up a lot of that work again. It was started, there was something else that needed to happen, and now we're picking it back up. So my hope is that by the next user group, we'll be able to give you a definitive timeline for when that ships.
I also say yay. Yay.
Yay.
Awesome. Thanks for fielding those, Grumpy. I think, yeah, I think we got through my proposed agenda, and now I'm happy to just turn it over to you all. Open mic. If I missed questions that came in on Discord or in Canny, you're welcome to ask us now. Hey, Brian. I see your question. I'm curious about any progress on the mobile viewer displaying text messages from objects. Adam, do you want to take that one?
I think this one is pending some UX development. So I think this is on Pluto to handle this one. I think we've all agreed that they should be displayed there, but I think there's some matters of filtering and blocking and things like that that have got some more complications to it that Pluto wants to resolve first.
I think that sounds right to me. It is on our list. What else you guys got? Ruby asks, will the upgrade of the Unity engine address any of the rendering issues such as rotations being off, texture changes, etc.? Another one for you, Adam.
Yeah, another one for me. The short answer on that one is no. However, we would still like some bug reports on those. We know that there are a few things that are still off, and we need to spend a bit more time on them. What I would say is continue to sending the in-world bug reports, because what we can do is we can grab some diagnostic information about the materials that are loaded and maybe have a look and see what's wrong.
Yeah, that's also another good reminder. So I've pasted in links to our feedback portal where you can either vote up existing issues, feature requests, and or bug reports. And in case you don't know, I think this group does know, but I'll say it anyway, in the app under the help menu, you can send us bug reports directly from the app, and that's separate from the feedback portal and gives us a bunch more information. So feel free to use that liberally and ping me, or even better, if you file a bug report in Canny and do a bug report from the app. Thank you. Thanks, Ruby. And yeah, voice should be working on mobile wherever we're using WebRTC, which is not every region yet. Nice, Mubu. That happened to me at our first meeting where I had to go to mobile because my desktop wasn't working with voice, but yeah.
The WebRTC voice bug I'm seeing is every time I speak, it's fine, and then I turn off my mic and I lose voice, and then I have to toggle it off and on before I can hear again.
I
That
feel
may
sure
be
we
what you're
squashed that
experiencing
before.
as well. I
Hmm
could have sworn,
I
so maybe
I
there's an
would
old
swear.
version or something.
That makes me want to swear, but yeah, okay, we'll get that reported back to the team. A little persuasion, I like that. Can WebRTC play sounds from within a PC without a mic? I, hmm, I think so. Like you shouldn't have to have your mic on to hear. Yeah, that sounds right to me. Um, Folks are answering Sarah in chat, and River asks inventory access. I've not been here in months, so not sure where that stands. Does Linden Lab do any sort of monitoring? How many people come in on mobile and never return? I constantly hear that they are logging off due to not being able to use inventory, dress themselves. Pushing them to a computer isn't always the best answer.
You are right, River. We do monitoring, of course, of people who come in on mobile. So the first step that is coming is going to be the Welcome Avatar Pack as a placeholder solution for being able to dress themselves as a new user. We're building out what being able to dress yourself on mobile will look like It's going to be a long road. And we are actually doing a lot of planning right now to figure out a set of things that we'll be doing next. Um, it is, as you might imagine, going to be a mix of things for someone who's new to Second Life to get their bearings and fall in love with Second Life, as well as for folks like those of us who are gathered here today who've been in SL for a hot second and want to use mobile to augment their Second Life, not be the front door to it. So it's coming, but I think the welcome pack is going to kind of plug the hole of the immediate need that new users have coming in.
Yeah, and the welcome pack, the new avatars are available via the desktop app now, and they render very nicely on mobile. I just had to remember to switch out of one before I came here because I was admiring it. Other questions? Of course, there are no questions, and I'm not talking when my dog is not barking.
Well,
That's the way that goes, right?
I'm glad we got to talk to Buttercup,
Yes.
uh, and I hope everybody was duly barked at.
She's got everything under control now. But
Excellent.
more seriously, I thank you everybody for coming and joining us today. Uh, I almost wanted to put off this meeting because I wanted to come in with a, hey, we have a brand new release, go get it. And as we described, we're not quite there yet, but no, this has been very helpful and it's good to hang out with you all.
I agree. And thank you for your continued feedback and support. I know sometimes things don't move as fast as we wish for them to. This is true both on your end and on ours. And we can't wait to come back here and tell you we shipped all the things and all the next things that are coming. I really am quite optimistic because we're going to get some new momentum starting next week on a number of issues we've been waiting for. And then we'll just line them up and knock them down, right, Bridie?
You got it. You know it.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Have
today.
a great one.
See you,
See you
everyone.
soon. Bye, all.
Bye.